are able to try to keep her in line. Obviously, Showmaker, having just played the Syndra last game.
Yeah, probably more than happy to grab that one. I mean, Urgot's still available as well, and you can imagine SKT pretty comfortable picking up the Urgot into almost anything, but now especially without Nuguri being on the roster. 1 second to go, the Ezreal button was not found, and the Kalista, like DAMWON showed us in game number 1, needs to be respected here from Teddy, but that means Ezreal left up, and if you're going to pick your poison, I'd pick Kalista every day of the week.
Yeah, I really don't know what they're doing there with the Kalista ban. I mean, they're sort of hurting themselves. If the enemy team goes Ezreal, you can snap back Kalista Galio, Kalista Thresh.
Yeah.
Any of those variations, knowing that you're going to walk into a Tahm Kench. But now I feel like you have to go Tahm Kench X in order to just respond. So you're looking at Tahm Kench Urgot, Tahm Kench Yorick. It looks like Urgot will be the first pickup choice. I don't think that you give away the Tahm Kench, so I think that it just has to be Urgot Tahm Kench here, hand it back over to SK Telecom, and then they just simply respond with most likely Jace X.
Lee Sin Jace could come in pretty easily here, or Tahm Kench Jace, or Tahm Kench Lee Sin if they would like to. Keep those solo lanes there as Galio is going to be the priority here for Beryl. It was a, it was an okay performance in game number 1, but I don't know, I actually would have liked to see him back on the Alistar instead of running back the Galio yet again, but it's not going to be the case. Tahm Kench easily going to be locked in here, and there's a bit of head shaking going on to my left as LS is wondering what the heck he's supposed to make of this. Giving away Ezreal Tahm Kench is something that we saw yesterday, and I gave that team a 2% chance of winning and felt bad about that because I felt like I should have given it a higher one. As Khan or Faker could be piloting the Sylas, and that's going to be locked away here. Faker very outspoken in the fact that Sylas is super fun to play. He doesn't know whether it's necessarily a good champion yet.
Well, it could definitely be top or mid Sylas. Although there's not a lot of key ultimates yet when Sylas was locked in on the side for SK Telecom.
Hero's entrance is actually awesome.
It is.
Yes. Super awesome.
But that's just 2 champions.
That's true.
You don't just pick it for 2 champions. That's not how that works. But Sivir, definitely another champion that is very powerful for Sylas to steal away the ultimate. How does the interaction work? I'm Coach Caster, by the way, but if Sylas tries to R Sivir and she spell shields,
I would assume that it just blocks it.
But it's
We've seen
animation a thing?
We actually saw that happen, and it trolled my brain completely. I'm like, he's gonna steal an ultimate. Wait, he doesn't have an ultimate. And then also, as you steal on the hunt from Sivir, you can cast it instantly, almost before it comes back to you. You know how the animation has it sort of like come back to you?
Okay.
So like that looks like it almost gets popped by a spell shield as well. And so keeping up to like who's on the hunting and who's spell shielding and how it works is just ludicrous. As we're going to have all junglers banned here. As we look back down, Kha'Zix, of course, has to be the pivot ban here from SKT because Canyon's on the Rift. J4 and Nocturne to be taken away by DAMWON against Split.
This is really interesting that DAMWON Gaming, they have access to first...
Oh, what the hell? Okay, Riven insta-locked by DAMWON Gaming. I don't know where it's going necessarily, but I have a feeling that it's going to be hunting the Sylas.
Rek'Sai. All right, I'm trying to make quick work of this draft here. So the interesting thing for me is that DAMWON bans away Jarvan and Nocturne, both of which go with the Galio, and then elect to snap a Riven almost instantly after being allowed to pick. And SK Telecom responding right now with a Lee Sin.
I want to see Sylas pick up a Riven ultimate and start using his passive with the extended range and see whether it actually hits or misses. Do you get the extended range from the ultimate no matter which champion I don't know how that interaction works with Sylas.
You're asking me that question. You think I'm supposed to know?
All right, Coach, by the way. Okay, Jace is going to be locked in here. It's an understandable draft coming in from SKT. A lot of power in a lot of lanes. That Jace and the Sylas can be flexed, but we have a feeling that Fake is going to be taking that one to the mid lane. Canyon can move into the Aatrox in the jungle, my favorite position for the Aatrox to be played personally. But so far, this draft is all sorts of crazy.
Yeah. I was going to say, if they locked in the Aatrox, that would be really disastrous because...
Is that a jungle Riven?
Magic... It is.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for this video.
All right, well, now I'm looking forward to watching this game.
Because that was
only
that
one
was so
jungle Riven enthusiast that I know about in North America. I've never seen it anywhere else.
Yeah, I've heard whispers about it, right? In like solo queue and scrims and things like that, but I haven't actually seen anyone actually pick it up before. So Canyon, of course, the young gun that you were talking about, the Kha'Zix Overlord, is going to be taking the Riven into the jungle position. I actually think it's kind of the least exciting as far as where the Riven could have potentially gone. We could have seen Showmaker into Faker on Riven versus Silas, which would have been really fun, or Flame picking up Riven in his debut game here in the LCK, or in his return to the LCK after a long time abroad. Multiple different countries. We are going to be seeing Flame on the Urgot to start off his run of LCK here for DAMWON Gaming. And man, I'm just excited to see this game get underway because there's a Riven, and the Riven's in the jungle.
Jace, Lee Sin, Silas, Ezreal, and Thomas Kench on the side for SK Telecom. This is essentially a poke and disengage team composition that, off the back of a Lee Sin ultimate, does have the ability to pop someone, but for the most part, this will be piloted as a pick composition. And on the flip side now, for DAMWON Gaming, Sivir, Galio, Vladimir, Riven, and we're almost there. Urgot. This team composition, it wants to go in, it wants to explode around 1.5, 2 items. That's around the time when Vladimir can hit his CDR spikes. That's when Riven's going to get strong coming out of the jungle. That's when Urgot's going to have his Black Cleaver, almost his Righteous Glory.
And I can understand almost talking over the fans here because there is so much to talk about with both of these comps. Faker is going to be back on the Sylas, this time with Aftershock, the rune of choice for Chovy when he debuted his Sylas, and was very, very impressive when he picked that one up as well. I do really like that keystone for the Sylas. Abduct, Abscond is the first option that you generally take, and if you hit the second portion of it, then you're going to be able to grab a whole lot of extra defensive stats. As Showmaker going to be utilizing... Okay, here we go. See, Faker absconding his way forward, and where's the return damage? There it is.
He loses out on that trade, actually, and it's too late to recall, so I'm not sure what that was just about. Because Vladimir has sustain, and now Vladimir got a Q, so his passive, and...
Yeah.
It's very bizarre, but...
Aftershock on the Riven here as well, and I like the shield bash. Able to bash with that shield quite a few times, getting some value out of that one. But it is going to be a very defensive choice in the jungle here for the Riven, starting on her own. As you can see, Flame and Showmaker are going to start in lane, and let's just see how Canyon is going to do. He's spent a lot of time off the Rift here for DAMWON. It's been punched that everyone's been preferring. His Lee Sin has been what you've been looking for. And now we've got anti-Lee Sin in Canyon being picked up because you have a feeling that they knew exactly what to expect coming out of the jungle from SKT after banning everything away in that first round. Level 2 has been gained here as Canyon going to use that smite to keep himself alive, taking his Krug Camp as the second option. We'll see how he paths around this map. At the moment, not heading towards a Rift Scuttler, as Clid is going to start on the bottom side of the map as far as scuttles for SKT.
The other scary thing about this is, with the Riven in later stages of the game, she's so mobile, but Tahm Kench existing and Teddy with the teleport on Ezreal, it's not like any 1-3-1 shenanigans are going to be able to take place, and so SK Telecom, part of their win condition is to just recognize that, hey, DAMWON Gaming, they have explosive Wongbo combos later in the game, 3, 4, 5 items, but for the most part, if Teddy can just get to his Iceborne Gauntlet and then fully scale into 3, 4 items, it's very difficult for DAMWON to take true engages.
Not to mention the fact that
team comp.
And what we were talking about in game number 1, and the reason why we really liked the team comps in game number 1 was because even in the laning phase in the early game, things were very balanced. Yes, there were options for both sides to create advantages, but largely it wasn't like one team has all winning lanes. You look at this, though, and Showmaker should theoretically be able to push, but you can see Faker being able to play relatively aggressively. Canyon doesn't find his first gank here on the Riven, but the minion wave is staying well and truly in the center. And with the Q-Max now, which has become the new favorite on the Sylas, you can push relatively easily. Khan will have the push on the top side as the Jace, and we don't need to talk about Ezreal in the hands of Teddy. That is almost a one lane by the fact that Ezreal was picked. This isn't CLG versus TSM yesterday. It's not that game, you know? It's not that kind of Ezreal. This is Teddy's Ezreal, which means an instant win.
Well, Teddy is
not necessarily in the lane. Instant one lane, okay.
Right.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
first turret hasn't fallen yet.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
we can't say it's over just yet. That's going to be another win for first turret team, by the way. Just to keep that one looked at as Faker finds the passive damage on
So
Showmaker.
I found out about this Tahm Kench when he devours a teammate and turns purple.
Oh, yeah?
Count Von Count from Sesame Street.
Oh my goodness,
That's what he looks like. You just wait till he eats him. See? There he is. There he is. He's made it to the rift.
Was
that what he... I've never watched this.
Because the count was count, and so he taught you numbers. You don't remember?
That's so cringy. I love it. It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah, and he also, it's the the Romanian accent there as well. It was super fun. I felt like I didn't learn counting from him. I learned Romanian accent from the count. From Sesame Street.
I never watched it, but Cookie Monster is one of the most badass characters of all time. Okay, I just gotta throw that out there.
I wouldn't have used badass as my definition
he definitely
for the Cookie Monster.
He takes cookies and he eats them when he wants.
Well, damn right he does. I think he is a great representation of what we want when it comes to freedom. That's what the Cookie Monster represents. He is freedom. He's got his thing, and he prioritizes that over all else because he wants to, because he's free to.
What do you think was his favorite cookie flavor?
Chocolate chip.
What?
Yeah.
No. That might have been what he showed you on the series.
The only cookies he ate
when he gets home at night.
I don't know.
What do you think he hides under his bed?
Raspberry cheesecake.
That's actually what I was thinking.
Good taste.
That was what I was thinking. That is good taste.
There we go. The custom synergy finally
here we
working
go.
out. It took us a game to warm up, but we got in there. Don't worry. Flame versus Khan here on the top side of the map. Pretty storied matchup, but it was a bit before Khan's time when Flame was back in Korea. Of course, have been seeing each other, I assume, in solo queue, even though it's been a little bit more difficult for Flame to climb since he got back.
It is indeed true. He does struggle a little bit on the ladder, although I'm not quite sure what's going on with solo queue ranks right now. I've not actually seen his OPGG, and it is Season 9, so
yeah,
everyone's everywhere. Reset ranked.
Exactly. Well, we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to bring that to the competitive scene, as I completely agree with you. Not that it affects me at all, because I just don't care about my rank.
So are you telling me that if they reset it, it wouldn't affect you?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't affect me at all.
Interesting.
The reason I play ranked is so I can choose a role. Otherwise, I'd probably play normal games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because we don't have blind. We don't have blind drop. Of course, I don't play ARAM. Come on, not a heathen. Okay, Nuclear and Beryl able to push things out now as the Sivir duo lane, but look at this back from Teddy. That's exactly the one that you want, as he's going to teleport back to the turret. He's got the Sheen. He has got the Tear, and he's feeling right at home as Faker grabs himself a Hemo Plague, and that is a good ultimate. If you're going to take it, means that Showmaker can dodge out of the way of a lot of damage with the Sanguine pool, but Faker being able to amplify his damage effectively in a team fight is what I'm terrified of for DAMWON fans. Flame up here topside is losing out on farm, but otherwise things are going absolutely fine here. On the Urgot, has hit level 7, so can start going for some of these potential trades. Khan, you can see, Phase Rush is his choice as far as runes. We saw Conqueror out of Nogri, which is why I mention it, but of course Phase Rush is the one we normally see alongside the Summon Airy, depending on whether you want mobility or more poke damage in the lane phase.
The stage, everything's going really slow and steady, and the Ocean Drake, not really of the most use to DAMWON Gaming. They have two champions that don't even really utilize mana, and then they have another one that, for the most part, has infinite mana, so doesn't quite matter all that much, and so not expecting to see either team prioritize it, but with Rift Herald coming up in about 2 minutes here, that is something I would expect to see on the agenda.
Yeah, the only thing that I'd see as far as priority for Drakes is concerned is on DAMWON's side, just because they want to cycle them as much as possible, find themselves a better Drake, because they do have this, I want to hit the mid-game running type composition where if we can create any sort of situation that we can fight around, we're going to be feeling good about it. Oh no, Flame! He left the LPL, but the treatment is exactly the same as he makes it back to Korea. That is going to be first blood going over to Khan. A little bit too far up in the lane was Flame.
And he gets taken down right there. He doesn't have his teleport available.
Whoa, Teddy
either.
instantly flashing to get out of the way of this one. True Shot Barrage eaten there by Nuclear as teleport from Khan here towards the bottom side. SKT wanting to fight for this Dragon as Canyon down very, very low. 300 health now as Khan's moving his way up. Faker gets the inside track here on the mid lane as Showmaker was already down here, but can they actually find anything? It's a lot of yakety sacks being utilized, and it might be Teddy out of position. Has to get devoured. Spat out now as well as Arcane Shift was available. The exhaust chosen to be used onto Canyon as Mata eats up so much of his health bar in the gray health, and the wind strike not going to land any joy for Canyon.
And the real story here is that Clid got so many plates and so much XP up there in top lane, and they're able to utilize Khan's teleport advantage to deny Showmaker and Canyon that dragon capture attempt, and they ended up wasting so much time of DAMWON Gaming. DAMWON is down 2,000 gold right now. We're not even at 10 minutes. And they're supposed to be the ones that accelerate and get ahead. They're not going to be doing that here.
No, and we're talking about the fact that DAMWON do want to accelerate the game, things like that, but early levels is still rough here for both these guys. There's the flash forward though. Mata eats the grey health and his Ezreal, and is able to get out the Ignite. Not enough to burn down and grab the Master Chef. True Shot Barrage gonna go well and truly wide, but the Arcane Shift, he was waiting for that one. Barrel, the 1v2, and Teddy walks away with it. The bait-in was so nice as Flame gets out of the way of another camp here towards the top side. He was forged in this type of play, was Flame. More than happy to continue bearing the brunt of it, even though the first one did manage to take him down.
He has to be really careful here up in top. He's still probably going to respect the Lee Sin, even though we do know that Clid has recalled. And right now, all the lanes are just going very poorly for DAMWON. You can see a little bit of anti-synergy there, but nonetheless, still able to take Flame down. Not quite sure that Khan actually needed to flash there in the end, but then coming back down into this bottom lane play, Flash comes out of barrel, thick skin. It's quite thick.
Oh yeah.
Teddy spits himself right back out, says, let me get right back in there. He says, Barrel, would you like a cookie? But like the cookie mantra, he lied to him.
Oh my goodness.
He wasn't
That
ever gonna give up
was
cookies.
an arcane shift.
달려 노플 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 노일
That's
노일
just
노플.
so good.
나왔다
Says no
나이스
flash,
나이스.
Nice. Woohoo.
Thanks for the translation, LS.
Nice.
I like how, like, on Mata's face, he was like, yeah, no, Teddy gets this now. It's easy. I used my health bar as a resource, and now you should be able to take it. He would have been real mad if he didn't manage to get that one. Okay, goes back, grabs himself his Iceborne Gauntlet. Not going to be doing the deft thing from yesterday, where he had the most accelerated Trinity Force ever after rushing for the Muramana as the first item choice, as you are well aware.
And I think that even though Teddy is in a really great spot, he's not in as good of a spot as Deft was in yesterday.
Oh, hell no.
To try to go for that Trinity Force to just basically lay waste to the opponents. And so, Iceborne Gauntlet is going to make it so difficult for Riven, Sivir, and Urgot to actually deal any damage to him. Canyon committing to this Ocean Drake despite his red buff coming up and his bottom lane being relatively even. He could maybe look to even invade the red or check on the golems, but instead opting to get this dragon that provides nothing for his team.
Yeah, but like we were talking about, probably wanted to cycle into one that's actually worth a little bit more here, as the Drake is going to be taken there from DAMWON Mountain is going to be the next option here for them. Just trying to get as many of them available as possible. Faker teleports back to the mid lane. Canyon turns up there as well. There are 4 members of DAMWON moving up to try and stop Clid from taking down this Rift Herald. Can he actually get the damage in time? I think that DAMWON should be able to get here on the hunt, available from Nuclear as well, in case anything else happens. There's the Abyssal Voyage. Faker makes his way in. Barrel's going to taunt up 3 members in the backline, and Canyon just grabs the kill onto Clid. Shelly even joining in this battle as Khan doing battle with Flame, but he's losing out on that one. The Purge is working, the Disdain is working, and DAMWON take everything.
And DAMWON find themselves with a really big victory just now, and a much needed one to stay inside of the game, as it looked like it was slipping away from them. So now they have the Rift Herald for themselves, and that's going to alleviate a lot of pressure. However, doesn't look like they're willing to use it right away, so plates are going to expire in 30 seconds now.
Oh no!
That's unfortunate.
That's called I used to know the damage range of that ability before it stopped doing damage to minions. That's what that's called. As we're going to see this one again. That's a really nice Valor to get out of the way and just get stunned up. Canyon, we've all seen this before, haven't we, guys? This is Riven from your solo queue games, piloted by one of the best junglers in Korea.
Well,
and that's real scary.
The really cookie-cutter way of stopping the Herald, Lee Sin and Khan both trying to retreat, but didn't matter as Canyon was there in time to stop everything.
Teddy's arcane shifts have been so troll this game. He's just constantly getting out of the way of Beryl. The Justice Punch just has too much of an animation, and Teddy's like, just stop doing it towards me, man. It's just never going to work. And look, I believe him. It looks like it is never going to work, as Faker not able to find the Chain Lash. On to Showmaker, whose Vladimir is pretty cool, calm, and collected here in the mid lane, as I thought we were about to see some sort of gank as Faker. Oh no. Canyon going to get absconded out of the Rift Herald usage.
Well,
wait,
that was a very big victory. Oh, man.
Yeah, this could be Teddy being taken down. The taunt did land, but Mata does manage to get that. Winds of War, not enough, and he slinks away, but tail well and truly between the legs of the Ezreal there, bottom side of the map.
And right now, Klid and Khan, well, the game's over now, Atlas.
First turret goes down.
All right, well, we're probably going to head to a MVP interview.
Yeah, actually, I really thought this was going to be a 2-1, but I'm really depressed that we know the outcome of the match now. Oh, dear.
Bottom lane for DAMWON does respond by getting a turret of their own. They're taking some chip damage on top tier 1, or top tier 2, as Flame is trying his damnedest to hold on.
Yeah, but he's doing absolutely fine. Yep. Didn't manage to grab the assist when Canyon picked up that kill, but has been able to catch back up in farm. You know, 6 CS is nothing to really worry about, and Khan is going to grab this extra wave ahead of him, but Flame has one of those conga lining towards this inner turret. So losing his tower, but is going to be able to keep himself relevant. And as far as staying relevant, Urgot, a pretty good champion at doing that no matter what happens. He still has an R button, and the rest of his team just needs to do damage at that point. Can he get a flash into the middle of the team? And the answer is definitely yes. I've seen this guy play Nah, and he's one of the few people that I've seen get a 5-man Nah in a competitive game. So
that is an achievement.
It is a huge achievement.
It's like the... did you ever play the game Rampage as a kid?
What was that again? Because I remember the name, but I don't remember what it was about.
You go and destroy cities as like a monster, like King Kong.
Oh,
type
yeah.
Yeah. Like what the Mega
It kind of is like happening. I like to think of it more like Trogdor, burninating the peasants. You know? Do you remember Trogdor?
No.
The dragon thing is just this weird dragon drawing.
Really?
Make sure you tweet at LS and let him know what Trogdor is. Because Trogdor, especially the soundtrack, is just super good stuff. It's an old meme, but I like to think that it checks out. SKT going for some sort of siege here in the mid lane. Of course, they've got Teddy on the Ezreal. They've got waves being pushed out, and turrets have gone down. So laning phase is over, and we're going to sit ourselves in this position. Nuclear is in a decent spot to try and help out because he's got a bunch of that flat AD, so the ricochets and the boomerang should be enough to clear out waves very, very quickly. There's Teddy. Oh, there we go, Beryl! The prediction of the arcane shift. He can't do it to him too many times. This is a lot of damage into the backline, but they do manage to get rid of the Tahm Kench, and DAMWON turning around the play patterns of SKT against him.
And this was a really big pickoff right now. It's going to allow DAMWON to convert into the Mountain Drake capture.
Does have an Urgot ultimate, looking to try and steal that one away from Flame. See whether he can actually get some fear beyond deaths here against this squad. As Teddy doesn't have his teleport, that is going to be Khan making his way in, but it's 2 Drakes going over to DAMWON. Klid coming on over, gets the kickback on the Galio, but actually there's just a whole bunch of buttons going the wrong directions here. Flame avoids his own hijacked ultimate and just hides under the turret. DAMWON still with a big advantage.
A bit of a sloppy execution on the side of SKT, but a good disengage by DAMWON as they do manage to pick themselves up the Mountain Drake. They're only down about 1.5k gold. Another Ocean coming up, though. Not the most exciting dragon. And so definitely if you're SK Telecom, you can say to yourself, well, there's not a real objective now that we have to fight over. We take another quick look at this, and Beryl just lands a 3-man taunt on the Hunt cast, and DAMWON Gaming This is what their comp is intended to do. Group up, run straight at the enemy. Just go face.
Yeah, I think it's the small comp comes in from DAMWON Gaming, and I like it. After playing the more finesse style, as this is not finesse from Khan, as Flame wants to find the ultimate, and he does get into the grinder! And the Jace is going to be picked up there, just overly aggressive positioning towards the inner turret of his opponent's squad with no vision.
And these are really big, key kills for DAMWON as it alleviates so much pressure. It's helping the Urgot accelerate back into the game. You can see.
Oh, it's a face.
Oh!
And
that was a
special
really
delivery.
Yeah, really clutch blast plant by Canyon. Able to knock Khan right into Flame.
Yeah, beautiful stuff here, and so far Flame has been delivering. As far as his performance is concerned, no question marks here from me, and Nuggery does offer a very different style to Flame, but sometimes you just want to have that veteran status, that cool head, and Flame has always been known for having a cool head no matter what's happening in the game. So maybe wanting to just utilize that instead. So far it's working, and instead you put in the big weapon that is Canyon on the jungle Riven, and you've still got some of that DAMWON flavor that we're used to.
Teddy just trying to wave clear here in mid lane. Blue buff is pinged though, so I'm assuming Teddy will make his way over there to pick that up.
The thing that I really like about Ezreal here in the LCK is that it feels like all of our Ezreal players play differently. Like, Deft is all about, he destroys laning phase with the Ezreal and then plays hyper-aggressive throughout the rest of the game. Teddy just farms up slowly. Yes, he's still aggressive, but often he has builds like this where he has Ninja Tub, where he has the Iceborne Gauntlet. As Clid gets the kickback onto Canyon, as our Faker might need to be there for a bit of a...
Whoa.
All right, not going to happen here as Beryl, yeah, takes a lot of damage, and Teddy's turned it on. Q isn't going to land, but he's still in position. Justice Punch is going to move you towards the Ezreal, which is definitely not what you want. Galio is going to go down.
And now it's going to be Dodgeball in the mid lane against the Ezreal that has both the blue and red buff on him right now.
And Jace as well. This is real scary as Khan is there as well. Clid doesn't have the Dragon Rage for a little while. Got the ultimate in there for Canyon. Faker, I want to see him steal it. I just really want to see a Riven ultimate on a Sylas. I want to know what happens. This is for science, Faker. Come on, it's Showmaker. He's in trouble. Has to pull.
Whoa.
As True Shot Barrage comes in. Nuclear. He might just die, but the minion wave is thankfully there. Canyon thinks that this is his moment, but is it? As Hemoplague is down onto Teddy, he comes out. Double explosion. As Showmaker comes in, Flame gets the Fear Beyond Death. As Faker's Hemoplague ain't gonna work when none of his team is alive.
And this could allow DAMWON Gaming to actually get the Baron Riven. Even though she's really low on HP, she has that shield available to her. They're calling in the teleport from Showmaker. It's up to Faker and Khan. Interestingly, the Vladimir ultimate is really potentially key here.
Yeah, if the Hemoplague actually lands and they can get some follow-up damage, it could be a big deal. The amplification not going to be all that important, and the Baron just going to go down. 2 members, not enough, and Showmaker showing he's level 14, and the Vladimir is all of a sudden online.
This is a massive turnaround I really wasn't expecting, and it all starts right here. Well, not exactly right here, but Ezreal with the Arcane Shift forward gets spit out by the Thomas Kench, able to continuously keep dishing out damage. Beryl ends up utilizing his stopwatch. Doesn't matter. Nuclear had no intentions of trying to block for him. And then after this, Teddy just wanted to take it a little bit further than necessary. You can see he's getting so much poke onto Showmaker, and if he just stops right here, lets the Jace go into top lane and start pushing, all is fine. But he aggressively Arcane shifts forward, trying to get Nuclear, and then you can see that Mata not able to save him from the Hemoplague.
Look at that
really matter.
Fuzz in the back line. My God, Flame comes in. He's at full health, zones everyone away, but DAMWON had 3 members in 1 auto attack away from dead scenario. Very close for SKT, but in the end it's DAMWON that grabbed themselves the Baron. Flame turns up topside and wants to take this 1v1. He's got a level advantage. Hero's entrance comes down. Disdain was in the wrong direction. Canyon now trying to find Khan, but could be able to find it just there. As Showmaker comes down with a Hemoplague, still looking for more damage. Mata spits out Teddy, almost dies to that pop despite not getting any amplification damage. after being in the belly, and now DAMWON should be able to get the inside track on the outer turret in mid and should be able to get inner as well.
They're definitely going to be able to chip away at some of the turrets here and accrue themselves a slight gold advantage. Faker, meanwhile, though, down in bottom lane, going to bounce back with a turret of his own.
So we managed to trade that one, and the gold is, of course, something that we don't really need to talk about here. 1,000 is nothing. This game is still well and truly up in the air. It's Faker having such a huge CS advantage that is putting them ahead. Spear of Sojin actually coming in second item for Canyon, as he's going to get booted back. Teddy, special delivery here as there are flashes going off everywhere. They want to kill this Riven. I understand the global taunt of the Riven. Everyone does if they've played any solo queue, but look at how mobile Canyon is. Pops over the wall. Khan needs to be delivered here as well as the boot back comes forward. And okay, still alive. There we go. Finally, to the skies is going to be able to pick up the kill.
You ever tried to catch a Riven before?
Yeah, I have. It's worse than Singed.
It really is. Oh man, people think Nidalee is bad, but Riven is...
People think Kane's bad. You know, Kane just going through the walls and all that sort of stuff. Riven pops over the walls and looks cool while she's doing it as well. It's like she's taunting you the whole time. She's just bouncing around the map. But that's exactly what can happen with this build. Canyon already has 40% CDR. In this build, possibly 45, as Inspiration was taken second with this very defensive rune choice. So Riven definitely going to be hopping mad around this map.
SK Telecom picked themselves up an Ocean Drake. They roll like lottery gods as well, as another Ocean Drake will be coming up here in just a second.
Yep, the damage control Drake choices for SKT fans, perfectly done. Khan will be able to make it out of here unless Showmaker goes for a blind Tides of Blood, but doesn't. He's going to be distracted by the control ward. Faker picks up that wave, and Jace moves towards the bottom side. This is something that SKT can do. Their 1-3-1 composition is not bad at all, with Marta and Teddy able to man the mid lane and get things taken. But if this game goes too far away from them, DAMWON's ability to force doesn't care about who you've got in a side lane. Showmaker coming on down, and they can dive. They've got a lot of untargetability and a lot of damage, as we know. Can SKT just hold the line?
Right now, there's no teleport available on the side of DAMWON, as Khan is looking to maybe make his way up to that bottom tier 2 turret, but Flame saying that he's just going to come over here and meet him. Blue buff is also up as well. Not sure if Flame is going to be taking that. Does look like he is interested in eating it.
Yeah, going to grab that one for himself. Gargoyle Stoneplate going to be his next item here on the Urgot. Faker desperately trying to make this Sylas seem like a worthwhile pickup here in the LCK. He so far hasn't found any joy on the pick. Debuted it the first possible instance of him being available, and has since gone away from his original choice in Keystone. Has moved to the Aftershock from, I believe, Grasp of the Undying, which was his first option. We've seen so many different choices, even the Electrocute coming out. When we saw it last time, he does have a lot of slipperiness though, and he's going to be building towards even more damage. Lichbane, very, very close to being picked up, and of course you're going to be weaving a lot of auto attacks on this Sylas, so certainly is a good pickup.
Slow and steady right now. I mean, Baron's coming up in 50 seconds, so that needs to be the primary focus for both of the team compositions. DAMWON, they're going to need to find a similar engage that allowed them to net themselves the first Baron. And meanwhile, SK Telecom, you can see on the Ezreal, he's almost going to be at his third completed core item. He just has the quest to complete.
Yeah, Saracen Brace almost done here, as Faker has the ability to run really fast and make the rest of his team run really fast too. Holds onto it for now though as he heads back towards the top side. We'll give him a slightly faster ability to get into these fights as well, and these flanks will need to be respected from DAMWON, much like they need to be respected on the side of SKT. Khan coming on up, and I feel like the Jace is almost in Zoe territory where he needs to land these empowered shock blasts to deter DAMWON Gaming from actually hard forcing these engages. Oh god, Faker, he's gonna go for the teleport. Canyon needs to get there with the knock-up.
Oh!
Not gonna get there. Perfect timing for the man in the mid lane from SKT.
That was a really, really close call. Had that teleport been canceled and Faker end up going down, that would certainly be the Baron.
Well, True Shot Barrage coming here in the mid lane. Just some control now as Showmaker gets engaged on, but Faker He's actually feeling the brunt of this one. He might actually have to go into stasis, and he does. Hemoplague not going to give too much joy. Kingslayer not there. Flashes into the open maw of Mata, but Mata spits him out into the redemption, and Beryl picks up the kill. Fear Beyond Death. The spear is going to go wide, but I feel like that's almost damage done here as DAMWON move back to the Baron.
And I think that DAMWON just going to be able to have a free Baron capture. Jace and Ezreal, well, Ezreal is recalling. Jace is making his way over, but it just doesn't matter, I don't think. I mean, Tahm Kench is here with the Abyssal Voyage.
Yeah, Beryl gets the taunt. It's onto Teddy. He doesn't have QSS, but gets himself out of the way. It's a decent exhaust onto Showmaker, who doesn't have Hemoplague. They've certainly pulled off this one as Seraph's Embrace finally completed. Canyon in trouble. Teddy kiting. Can he actually find this team fight? And Power Shock Blast grabs the Vladimir. That is so much damage missing from the fight now as Khan grabs that first kill, grabs the second. Canyon so low. Beryl so low. Canyon picks up the kill on Mata there, but that's the triple kill now for Khan. Hero's entrance comes down, and Teddy grabs that one. SKT finesse in the team fight to save the game.
And that was one of the best jugglings I've ever seen in LCK. The way that Teddy handled that fight. This is the epitome of how these two team comps are designed to fight against one another. It's like you're constantly juggling against these hyenas that are running at you, and you just, everything is just so close. You can see Faker. This is how this all starts. Silas trying to be dragged across the finish line as Mata eats him up, spits him out right into the redemption, but there was really nowhere else for him to go. Flame shoots out the Fear Beyond Death, and then following this up, the teleport. It's like an Avengers entrance or something. Everyone suddenly arrived at the Baron pit, and Teddy, it was certainly a 1v5 on this Ezreal performance. Arcane shift into a True Shot Barrage. Everyone just trying to do as much as they can.
And just using the terrain so beautifully. We talk about Khan, he's the one that got the triple kill here, got so much money back, but in goes Clear to get so much value with the kick. But Teddy used absolutely everything that he had to get out of the way of damage whilst doing damage at the same time. And that's why all of these DAMWON members are so incredibly low. The way they play around the bottom lane's power and strength is just a beauty to behold here for SKT. 8-8 is the kill score, but if this is a 2-0 for SKT, it doesn't tell the whole story of how fun this series has been to watch. And DAMWON needs to hold their heads high, because these are two different team comps with very different goals and aims this time around. Last time around, we saw relative parity, played also very beautifully from both sides. And now we've got these two playing chess around each other with how these comps work, and we've seen both be successful this game. It really is just a beauty to watch.
And SK Telecom, they have the Baron. Teddy is at the forefront of this team composition, as he is the most difficult for the DAMWON team composition to try to hold down.
True Shot Barrage, Valor eats most of it, but look at that. That's just an auto attack that does about a bajillion damage to Canyon. Trying to keep himself shielded up. The Spear of Sojourn is a really cool item on Riven, of course, because she, of course, loves any cooldown reduction. So having that 40%, 45 that you can get with the Cosmic Insight, but then also resetting with that new Essence Flare, the Awakened Dragon, or whatever it's called, is really cool. But it's just not cool if you don't have a health bar. If you have a health bar, your cooldown reduction doesn't actually help on the Death Chamber. So that's just not really working here for Canyon, who really, he's going for Death's Dance as his next choice, but I just feel like that makes the Guardian Angel way too late from this Riven, who wants to be able to get in there and then be able to affect the fight afterwards.
I agree with you as well, especially because Silas is able to steal Urgot's ultimate, and then if Riven suddenly becomes a target, the Guardian Angel can negate a lot of that damage, as well as
also ignores the shield completely as well. So you can be Valoring around as much as you want, but if you're at the threshold, you're just dead.
So now, at this point, DAMWON, they're only down about 2,000 gold.
Oh, the kick's going to go the wrong way, but I'm with Clit on that one. That looked like it was right in the middle of the model. So I think that Showmaker, he DI'd that pretty nicely.
Is that what he did?
Yeah,
on the hunt. Here we go, Hyenas
Yeah, exactly, but Marta has the Devour. Flames looking for Clid. Not going to find him there at all. No issue for SKT to disengage, and that's what these comps want to do. We have to go back to what LS was talking about earlier on, guys, and that is that DAMWON need to find the on-the-hunt engages onto multiple members of SKT. Otherwise, SKT are able to do this.
And SK Telecom, I mean, I don't know, Atlas, if you've ever juggled a WoW raid boss, but that's basically what it is trying to do. They have to juggle in every which direction, or they're going to get wiped. Yeah, they're kiting.
They're kiting Grob around Naxxramas, I think, is what they're doing.
They got wiped the first time. They messed up, and then they blame that one guy. They're like, you're kicked from the group.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you standing in the slime pools, you nerd? Or something like that. That's what they told me. Anyway, I was the king of standing in fire. Got to get your rotation right. That's how it's supposed to work here. We're going to move back to League of Legends. 3,000 gold is the lead, but the 3,000 gold isn't what we're focused on. This is one of the really fun games of League where it almost doesn't matter what the gold is, and it's almost based on what the comps do, and not based on, you know, the timing that we are in the game or the size of the gold lead, right? If this was 11,000, then yes, SKT just runs forward and smacks them with their wallet, but this time around, the gold doesn't matter, because if SKT can play around the engage that DAMWON want to throw at them, then that is going to be the good news story for them. And if DAMWON can run at them and get a Hemo Plague on 4, then they're just all dead. Like, there's nothing doing. Death Stance has been completed by Canyon, but there's no stopwatch, there's no Chain Vest, and there's definitely no BF Sword just yet. On this Riven, look at that for a timing for DAMWON to be able to actually fight, because Riven with 4 items is terrifying no matter what. And in a game that's relatively even, with a Riven that's relatively farmed, should be able to get some work done here. But not yet is the problem. Got a Bilgewater Cutlass that Teddy needs to transform into his item of choice. We'll see whether it's Blade or whether it is going to be the Hextech Gunblade. I personally like Hextech Gunblade more than any other, but he doesn't have the Sork Boots, so Blade could be fine too, especially against Flame's large health pool.
Well, Elder is coming up in 15 seconds, and that is the strongest neutral objective for both parties. The Hemo Plague on Vladimir having the Elder Dragon burn going, or the Ezreal and Jace having it. This is really the key objective. Baron doesn't matter anymore. Baron used to be cold. That's last week's newspaper. Okay?
All right. I like a game where Baron isn't cool, because Baron's been the really cool thing for so incredibly long. Is Khan? He's got great positioning here on the outside. Faker there as well, just to deny any sort of flank for the Jace. They can just collapse in together, and DAMWON, they can't start off the Elder. Clid in a decent position, and that's put Teddy in this mid lane to keep these waves pushing forward. Look at SKT. The control of minion waves is just stunning. Top lane's pushing. Bottom lane is at the inhibitor turret, so possibly will reset, but all of these blue dots are dying. This is just gold going down the toilet for DAMWON. Ultimate going to be stolen here from Showmaker. Faker looking to give his own opportunity to get these wombo combos in there with the Hemo Plague.
No, this would be quite an erroneous decision to actually trade Baron for Elder, but it doesn't look like SK Telecom see it that way, as they seem intent to go into the Baron.
This is dying so incredibly fast. Faker trying to get over the top, but it is the Riven that takes that one down. Faker goes golden. It's a lot of damage into that pit, and he's able to get out of there. I'm not sure how he lost absolutely none of his health bar after the Zhonya's, but that's just one of those things that happen in SKT. Can't get the chase in. Faker finds another ultimate now that he's level 18 and that cooldown is so incredibly low, and DAMWON have been routed. Fear beyond death. Can he sling it onto Flame is the question. The answer is no. Shock Blast comes forward. That's Clid going down, but look at Faker, look at Khan, and look at Teddy. Can they actually grab this? They're like fish in a barrel, but these fish are piranhas. They can bite back, and DAMWON, they take a Baron, they take a kill, and they get out unscathed.
And now they're going to be able to use that Baron Enhanced Recall and beeline straight to the Elder Dragon. And this is really surprising, because we're going to see how this all starts. Faker goes in there, loses his entire health bar, gets a multi-man Hemo Plague, and then flashes away into safety. And now the team composition sort of reversed roles, as DAMWON were on a full court retreat, as SK Telecom were trying to put them inside of this narrow corridor.
The scaling of Hemo Plague's heal, by the way, when you hijack it, is absolutely despicable, by the way. Just saw that represented by Faker's heal.
Oh, Elder Dragon now as well for DAMWON Gaming. So Baron and Elder with roughly the same timers on them.
Yeah, this is extraordinarily scary. It's exactly what you want to do. You want to take Baron, you turn it into an Elder, and then your entire siege is with an Elder Drake buff after you've gone back to reset after the first Baron take, and now you got a 6-item Sivir in order to do it as well. So we were looking at this, and I'm still thinking that Teddy can carry this game, but it's getting more and more difficult, especially when your jungler gets caught out of position.
Oh.
He needs to safeguard his way out, and Canyon holds on to his stun for a little bit too long. Barrel face check in here as Teddy's still able to do some work.
Only a minute and a half remaining, though, on the Baron, and looks like Sivir and Urgot just giving up the mid wave. Never mind, they managed to get back in there, but not before some of it has been chipped away at.
Khan, acceleration gate's going to get him away from Canyon, who, remember, he's got a stopwatch now, but doesn't have the Guardian Angel. He takes a lot of damage on the outset, and SKT's counter siege is actually quite scary. They've got the ability to clear out minions. They don't necessarily have the most of it because the Baron is still there, but only for another minute. This base may still stand after this Baron and Elder wear off.
Well, they have 2 more minion waves to make use of trying to crack the base. DAMWON, they have to just go 5 into a lane and threaten the Vladimir engage. That's the only way to move SK Telecom, which is what they're doing.
Oh my god, Showmaker! Crimson Rush on top of Khan, but he holds on to his Guardian Angel. That will spell the end of the inhibitor in the mid lane. It was about the end of the Baron buff as well, but finally, the base is broken. Top side now going to be the problem. There's a mismatch. Khan had to go back to the fountain. That means that we are in trouble of losing 2 of the inhibitors in the SKT base. Nicely done from DAMWON. And this game, it's turning on a dime over and over again. And the backs have been stopped here towards the top side of the map there as well. SKT have lost 2 inhibitors, but you still don't feel like they're out of the game just yet.
No, they're definitely not out of the game. If the Ezreal goes off inside of one team fight, that could be all that they need to recover. The real problem, though, is going to be the upcoming Elder Dragon and the Baron, as the inhibitors are going to be down for it. Now, fortunately for SK Telecom, top inhibitor is the worst in the game. In mid inhibitor, due to the way that both of these team compositions function, isn't the most valuable, because it's either DAMWON gets clean aced or DAMWON clean aces SK Telecom, in which case SKT is always going to be escorting mid wave. They're always going to be escorting top wave due to the proximity to the Baron. And so these are, fortunately for SK Telecom, the 2 best lanes to have the inhibitors go down. But they're still going to have their work cut out for them trying to get the next Baron. If they can get that, they can definitely defend against the Elder.
Yeah. The only problem is that now you've got level 18 Vladimir and level 18 Sivir to contend with. And we don't need to talk about that too much because we've been saying it all season. Vladimir, pretty bonkers in the late game. Sivir also pretty bonkers in the late game. But the reason why we're talking about SKT with hope is because their win condition isn't around these 5v5s that DAMWON are going for. And SKT have proven that this iteration of the squad can play finesse League of Legends very, very well. So it's not all over just now. Flame has gone towards the Ignite Exhaust. This guy wants to do battle. As the inner turret is getting sieged on, super minions need to be dealt with top side of the map as Khan does have teleport. But SKT not with the most wave clear unless the Jace is hanging around. Faker's there though, does have the chain lash, and Teddy thankfully is able to clear out minions relatively well.
And I really like what DAMWON Gaming is doing. They're drawing SK Telecom to the bottom lane, allowing the necessary time for the super minions in top and mid to try to pressure SK Telecom. As the Baron's still 30 seconds away, maybe they're even going to look for some sort of a hard engage. Yeah, they are.
On the hunt goes down. That's an ult immediately used back there, I believe. Faker, yeah, is going to time out, though it landed onto Beryl. On the hunt actually does nothing here, though, because they respected the fear beyond death that Faker could throw into the entire team if they are able to get rid of the support Galio. Beryl knows that he can get focused relatively easily, and SKT, if they get their eye in, can get the work done as Arcane Shift aggressive from Teddy.
Just trying to clear out this last bottom wave so that they don't have any pressure being applied to them right after the Baron. And when you're DAMWON Gaming and you have this strong of a team composition with this many items, you can just shred through that Baron in just a couple of seconds, especially with the Mountain Drake.
Well, especially with their turn, you know, their turn is just ridiculous right now as DAMWON moved back into the mid lane. They wanted to try and grab a pick before they went for the Baron. The textbook play, of course, but I just feel start it, guys. Start it. SKT, I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to actually make it to the pit in time, as we've got 2 members on the big purple worm. Blue buff is going to reset, and that's going to buy time for DAMWON somehow. And we've got backs. We've got the Baron just being given over to DAMWON. SKT not wanting to try and go for it, but they do move. A little bit too close here. There's Flame moving real fast with that Righteous Glory cleared, having to flash, having to safeguard, but does get to safety and saves his GA.
Manages to save the Guardian Angel, but Elder coming up in 10 seconds, and I'm thinking that DAMWON just have to go to it right away. And then, at that point, second Elder Dragon with a Baron, I don't think there's any way for SK Telecom to resist the all-in engagement.
Oh, unless Clid can go for a miracle steal. He does have the Q landing, not going to steal it! And GA also going to be sacrificed. He wanted to deny the double Elder, but he's not going to be able to, and that is a whole lot of time with an Elder Drake. An extra 2 minutes on top of the time they have with this Baron. DAMWON, they've got everything so far this game, and with a second Baron, a second Elder, this should be a second chance for DAMWON to finish this series in their favor.
And I really can't imagine that this could ever go poorly here. You just have to wait for the top minion wave, and then once it's there, press on the hunt. Hemoplague, all the SK Telecom members, they're gonna run backwards.
If Nuclear accidentally attack moves the wrong direction, I think they lose, but otherwise, it's looking pretty good. Hemoplague's already down. Faker goes into his Zhonya's, trying to turn this one around, but Flame, he's got a stopwatch. The Riven grabs the kill onto Silas, but SKT, they played out a lot of the fights great in the early game, but in the end, it's DAMWON with better play around neutrals that secure game 2.
That was a really interesting game from a lot of angles, mostly because both team compositions got to really show its face at specific points within the game, and the Riven having a victory on its performance here today against SK Telecom. And one thing that I really do feel quite strongly about from watching that game is please stop picking Silas, because I have to wonder at this point if SK Telecom are picking Silas inside of scrims, and they're forgetting that they're winning because Conclid, Mata, and Teddy are there, and even though it's Faker, it's pretty nice to get wins on any champion that you're going to pick in spots like that. So, I don't know, Silas didn't really do anything that entire game, and it just felt like at so many points his ultimate steal didn't matter, couldn't do anything. I don't know why they picked him when they did in the draft phase. I
mean, that Hemoplague that bought time around the Baron almost bore through, right? That was almost able to work out. But otherwise, it was honestly just the Khan and the Teddy show, right? Yeah. And it was them being able to play out these mid-game fights.
That was a 45.
That made the game look so incredibly close throughout the majority. And we knew that SKT could make something happen, right? Because if you steal an Urgot ultimate and they do get that pick that we know that they're capable of, that is certainly something you can do. You can route people with the Abyssal Voyage, things like that. We know that that's what this comp can do. But despite Teddy doing close to 50k damage, it's just not enough to get them over the line. And I feel like this composition just needed to get a little bit more done in the mid game. And from the mid lane.
Mid-lane, I mean, when a full AP Silas is doing 12.8k damage and it can't get a reliable ultimate to actually utilize, the champion is just...
Yeah, that might be the champion's fault and not the...